them running diapers.
That a guy could tell over the years that you've seen him done, and the pain inflicting he liked to do on people to get a kick out of it. Sonda Essary was a neighbor down here, and she's a big old tough lady. And she walked in the shop one day, and I think William Todd maybe had cut something off of the torch, and Kenneth yelled, "Sonda!" And she looked up, and William threw that bolt to her, and she caught it in her hands, and it left blisters all the way down her hand. Of course, these guys cackled about it, and she was mad.
I got several stories, but this is the one I will never forget as long as I live. But
Talk right in it. Talk right in it. The microphone.
microphone to you.
No.
No, anyway. But we were racing. I think it was Rogers down there. And anyway, we got our car ready, and we was watching the heat races of the bombers and stuff.
If you're going to do it right.
Okay, sorry. Okay, is that better? Okay, I'm nervous. I don't like talking. Anyway, we get bored waiting on our heat races to come up, and they had these bomber cars, and we're betting $1 on who won. So anyway, they were racing out there, and my guy was just running off with it, and Ken's guy was back there beating up on somebody else's car. And anyway, all of a sudden, something hit me in the back, and anyway, I thought Kenneth had hit me because my driver just won the race. So I turned around and I just knocked the crap out of him. I said, "You didn't have to hit me." And he said, "I didn't hit you." And I said, "Yeah, you did."
This is Doug Randall. He owned Doug's Pool and Spa. He sponsored Leslie's race car for years.
And this guy right here is Mr. Racer. And Mr. Good Guy, you can just ask him anything and he'll try to help everybody.
He's a friend. Stories I could tell about this guy would go the rest of the afternoon, but I'd like to say this. I've been in business right at 40 years. Kenneth was at my shop. I can't count the years ago, and he said, "You got a Brodex account?" I said, "No, I don't." He calls down there. I had a Brodex account immediately. He said, "You got an account at Lenati?" "No, I don't." I called down there. I had an account immediately. I could go on and on and on of the people that just to mention a Kenneth's name stood so good as a reference that he helped this guy in business. But I will say this about him. He always tried to pay me with his hog check. The man's never raised hogs. But he is a friend. And just this turnout just shows how many people respect, Kenneth, what you've done for them, what you've done for the sport, but just moreover what you've done as an individual.
Amen. Yeah. What happened? I missed it. Damn it.
He's going to introduce him as Jerry Hoffman.
Okay, hey, a couple things to say. We've been in this racing deal a long time, and I think the one thing Kenneth and I shared as friends was probably the old racetrack at Monette, and we was going over there in the late 70s, and Kenneth was racing, and Darrell and Johnny Bone and Bill Street and a bunch of them, and they just couldn't keep it going. So I blame Kenny and Darrell for getting me into the mess they got me in. It lasted 38 years. But they talked me into going down. We had a good friendship. We worked together. Then we started the MLRA, and at that time, and Kenneth's a big part of that. And the big series wasn't going then, and we started a regional series, and we kind of kicked ass. We had the best game in town. I'll just be honest with you, and Kenneth was a big part of that, and I've always appreciated the thing he did when he raced too. And like at Monette, if I was broke down, he'd be the first one to come help me out. A lot of guys have said over there, "Well, that dumbass wasn't prepared," which I probably wouldn't. But Kenneth would help you out, just like he helped people on their race cars, and I always appreciate that deal. And so we worked together at MLRA, and Kenneth sub-rented the Show Me series to me for a while, and I think that worked good. He actually talked me in. He's probably forgot. "Well, you need Bolivar and Lebanon too." "No, I didn't, Kenneth. But you kind of talked me into it, remember? You said, well, if you got them all three, you can do what you want. Well, that worked out for a while. Yeah, till the oil company moved in up there, and that kind of kicked my butt. But anyway, this guy's really good for racing. And I always remember the 80s. The 80s at Monette was really a kick-butt time. The old racetrack drove with the best of them. He was one of the number one reasons. Johnny Bone, Bill Street, Daryl Mooneyham, Ray Felker, I'm missing some. Roger Chisholm, yeah, how did I forget that guy? And we had good races night after night. And then after that, here come Leslie and Terry and the next Shane Essary, the next generation come in. And somebody was telling their day too, and you were a big part of that too. Skip Pope, Rex Merritt, Mike Watson, all that sportsman class. Rick Levo, I can't think all those names. But Kenneth helped almost every one of those guys get started racing, and I thought that was great. And yeah, lots of guys, I missed some names. But anyway, I've been glad to know him. I think he's been great for racing, as good as any driver that ever raced around here. He's been good, and he would help everybody. And so, good to know you, young man.
O.D. Cope, the kind of man that he is. Mike Keogh, the governor, called him yesterday.
Woo! Right.
So I hadn't been in the family very long. And used to, when a birthday or something come around, we had the birthdays in the formal dining room, which was actually the garage. We're all sitting around the table eating. He gets up to go get him some more, walks behind me, and I felt something on my ear, and I jerked away from him. And he just laughed and laughed and laughed. Well, a little while longer, I felt this worm coming down my neck. He bit my ear and drew blood, and just laughed about it. That's a true story.
Something you don't forget. And growing up over the years, my grandpa, my dad's dad, passed away when my dad was 15. And Dad had this big farm to take care of by himself. Probably couldn't have done it without Kenneth Essary's help early on. This past Monday, my dad had a stroke. He's in the hospital in Monette. Not looking good. And I told Dad the last few days, I said, they're having a surprise birthday party for Kenneth on Sunday. And of course, Dad's in and out of consciousness, not doing well. And he'd sit there with his eyes closed and he would say, well, we're going. He wanted to be here, but he thinks the absolute world of this man, and Kenneth's been a tremendous influence in this community. And every time we talk about Kenneth Essary, the Copes have nothing but praise and admiration for him and his family, and Lena, and the boys, and Karen, and what they've done for the community, what they've done for all of us. And anytime we needed a piece of equipment worked on or something that we really needed to get back in the field and get something done, we could always depend on Kenneth to get us going. And he's a role model for me. He's my hero. And I wish with every fiber of my being my dad could be here to wish Kenneth a happy birthday and to be in this microphone instead of me. But he's here in spirit.
Amen.
He may not be with us very long, but O.D. Cope thinks that Kenneth Essary hung the moon. I'll just tell you that right now. So, thank you very much.
This is unreal. We're all so blessed to have this man in our lives. I mean, if it wasn't for him, there's a lot of us that couldn't race, wouldn't have raced, couldn't. But you know, the funny thing about it is, I knew you were having this birthday party. I didn't realize you raced.
I didn't know they were having a birthday party, so you were ahead of me.
Well, we're even. It's what happens when you get old.
Maybe I forgot.
Yeah. But no, I remember first time I watched Kenny was at the Fairground Speedway. I was only about this tall, and he was just crazy fast then, huh?
How old are you?
I'm just 72.
And you that tall the first time you saw me.
Well, actually, I was sitting down. So. Anyway, I appreciate Jerry Hoffman going to let us all in free at the Flying Farmer 55. That's going to be one of the coolest things ever.
Yeah.
And,
Thank you, Jerry.
and Jerry, actually, Kenny told me about that deal, but he also told me that when the tornado come through and hit your track, it done $4,000 worth of improvements to the bathroom. So I don't know how. But anyway, this is really good. Great group of people. It just shows how popular that Ken Essary is. It's.
I wasn't paying attention.
I didn't think you would. One thing: do never let him or Leslie pinch you on the back of your arm, because he will hit the soft spot, and if you got a weak bladder, you'll lose it right there. Happy birthday, brother.
Yeah.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it.
So when I was growing up, watching Kenny and Perry Vaught race and working around these guys, it was a dream of mine to be able to race. And finally got the opportunity to get started. And when you're trying to figure this whole racing thing out, you go around, you think you have a problem, you ask people how to fix it, and they tell you to change this or change that. Most of the time it didn't work because one thing's not going to make the difference. The difference was Kenny would tell me why to change this or change that. I have to credit you for giving me the drive to make a career out of trying to figure out how to make a race car faster and why you change this and why you change that. This man set me on a path to make a career out of it, and I appreciate it. Thank you, sir.
For those of you who don't know me, I'm Jerry Hoffman out in the Springfield Raceway. And sometimes people do stuff and it's never on the internet, it's no social media, they just do it and don't tell nobody. Well, this man right here, back in 2007 or 8, I think it was, we got the Springfield Raceway, and he had started the Show Me series. Show Me late model series, right? Woo-hoo. They had him a great deal when he started there. It's an economical late model class. And I just bought the racetrack and didn't really know what we were even getting into. And we got hit by a tornado at the racetrack. It wiped our concession stand plumb out, our front straightaway fence, our bathroom and all. Well, Kenny got with me and said, hey, how about we have a race and we'll come for a cheaper price? And I said, well, that sounds good, but what kind of price? Well, he said he didn't know, but he'd get back with me. So Kenny got with the drivers and the Show Me series, and they had come up with a lot cheaper purse. They had knocked $4,000 off the purse and said they want to come have a race. It'd be a Show Me dirt late model race and just charge a normal price. And I go, oh shoot, that's a bad deal. I said, how do I do that without everybody getting mad? He said, the drivers are going to come and we'll pretend it's just like a regular paying race. But we're going to come, there's like $4,000 off. So Kenny done that deal, and they knocked $4,000 off the purse in the end. We had the regular race, counted for points. We charged our normal admission. And that goes a long ways because he never said nothing to nobody about it. I never said nothing to nobody about it really until just now. Because I didn't want nobody mad at me because they thought they got hosed. But it was Kenny's idea if anybody did get mad. So take it up with him. It's his birthday. But I thought that was pretty neat. I've never forgot that. And that was a nice gesture. I want to thank all the drivers that was there too. And then Justin got with me. And Justin said, what do you think about having a race for Kenny? And I go, well, what happened? Did he pass away? He said, no, he's still alive. I said, well, that's good. I said, I think that's cool. Because so many times we do stuff for somebody when they're not here no more. And it's hard to share with what we really felt about them or thought of them. Unless like what Justin did. We had the Flying Farmer 55. Where's Justin at? Justin, thanks for wanting to come up here. You going to race that this year? Justin, you're going to be at the Flying Farmer 55 this year? We got to find you a car to drive this year. We have to find him a car. He's outlaw now. But Justin, yellow 55 would be real cool, wouldn't it? Yeah. But Justin, I want to thank you for that, because that meant a lot for Justin to choose my old dirt track to do something to honor Kenny and do it while he's still alive. You're not going nowhere for a while, are you? Got 10 or 20 more in you? Good. 100. Well, we'll still have you at the track, I guarantee you. So it's neat to have him and his wife there and his family there. And last year, I'm going to tell a story here, and this is between me and you guys only, okay? Nobody else. When you guys leave here, don't tell nobody. They was running a feature out there, and Kenny was standing in the infield, him and his wife, and I had him side by side to drive. And Kenny reached over and gave me a big old hug. I gave him a hug, and he looked around there and he said, "Man, look what you've done here." He said, "What you've made this place here." And I go, "Yeah, it's pretty cool, isn't it? It's getting better each year." And I told him I want to thank him and everything. And the more he sat there talking and bragging on me, it started to rain. And his raindrops was hitting me in my eyes, and I started to cry. Kenny, don't judge me now. Well, I had to just stop talking to Kenny and walk the other way, because he just kept bragging on the place and what we done there. And it hit me right in the old heart, and it got the old feelers. And I was crying, and I had to walk away from him. So I don't know if he thought I was rude or what, but it meant a lot coming from you, Kenny, for what you've done in racing and life and help us up the racetrack and stuff. It's neat to do that Flying Farmer 55. And thanks again for everything you've done in racing, buddy.
Amen.
Thanks everyone for being here. Whoa, let me back up. The Essarys had always been a big part of the Shaws. Kevin, Charles, and my wife, Cheryl. They've been with me from the beginning. It seemed like Ken and his family had been with us about that long. We started the business when October the 10th in 1979, and Ken was one of the first ones. I had come out of when I got burned out working for Mark Martin, I decided didn't know what I was going to do. I thought I still wanted to build race cars or something, but Ray Baker from Baker Engineering in Michigan called, wanted me to come to work for him. So we looked it over, and we went up there, and he gave Cheryl a job being a secretary, and I managed Ray's whole deal. He just wanted to build racing engines. And first year we was there, they got 88 inches of snow in January. So I told him, shortly after that, when spring comes, we'd be going back south. And we come back, and we started race car business October 10th of 1979. And I had cancer 3 times, and good Lord's good to me. I beat it every time. And when we sold the race car business in 2019, we had built 5,463 race cars during that period of time. And for it I know, I don't know if it's close to that, but that was a pretty big deal. But Ken, Leslie, and everybody that was with them was always supported us, did a lot for us. And Ken Essary was one of Mark Martin's main hero. I know we come to Bolivar one time when Julian, Mark's dad, he was a big block top man. He wasn't hard to ride to the coffee shop with you in a small block. He was all about big block. We come to Bolivar up there, and Mark Martin says to this day that was one of the top 3 big wins of his his racing career, winning Bolivar that night. Neil Nyson, is that his name? That run the Bolivar Speedway? Neville Neal, he ran the racetrack, and I don't know, we didn't do any good in the heat, and we had to run a C, I think, and then we had to start pretty deep in the B, and we got to second, and he had a deal, if the winner would sell his spot to the second place, the guy could start tailback. And we did, and Mark, he won the race from back there in the back, and he tells a story about, he said, Ken Essary, Larry Phillips, he'd name off all the people that was there, but he said that was a big night for me to win that race. But he always brings Ken's name up when he talks about racing. But look here, I just want to thank everybody for coming out for this. This is a huge deal.
I don't like being in front of people, but everybody knows him as a racer, knows him, what he's done for everyone, for the race career. This is a different story. Justin and I lost our dad when I was 15. I didn't have much of a life ahead of me. this is hard, I'm sorry. But he raised his kids, should have been out doing what he wanted to do. Him and Lena took me in. I wasn't going to graduate high school. I wouldn't probably be in this world right now. But they were hard on me, which I needed. They took me in. I may not have the same last name, but they made me one of them. They showed me passion, showed me what it meant to have work ethic. No matter what you had money-wise, where you lived, what you drove. If you was honest, treated everybody with respect, it would come back.
Amen.
These guys had nothing to gain by taking me in. They did not hesitate. I would not be able to help the people I've helped in my time doing what I'm doing because I was going down the wrong path in a hurry. I don't know, I'm not real great with words. This was hard, but Lena, Kenneth took me in, and I don't even know how to explain it, but they changed my whole life. I may not have gotten the racing part. I may have tore up more of his cars than I done fixing them, but they never not made me feel part of the family. They literally had nothing to gain by taking me in. They never got recognition for it. They would do that for anyone, and that's just not racing. So, again, I want to make sure he understood, and Lena understood, that they changed my life and made me who I am today.
Hear these stories and to see it, to know what's happened and how they done it and how they built it, it's just crazy. But like I say, William Todd, man, you're my hero. So it's cool to, get to be a kid around here and get to see you guys, the things Jim's done over the years. So, and I know sometimes you don't get the recognition that people don't know what you meant to this family and what you done. So thanks for being my hero.
Mooneyham and his crew chief, Eddie Carter, showed up and helped us finish getting it ready. And they raced at Bolivar that night. And that's just, Daryl and Eddie's just the first two that come to mind. But it wasn't just Dad helping, everybody helped everybody. And
go before the Burt transmissions and stuff, they run an old 4-speed transmission. And they broke the input shaft on the transmission that was in the car and picked one up out of the floor that had been laying there for a year or two and put it in the car. This was stock floorboard type car. You had to pop rivet the boot down around the shifter. Dad's in the seat on his knees, pop riveting the rubber boot down around the shifter. And William's sitting on the fender, revving it up, setting the timing. Well, that transmission had laid there long enough that it seized up and they took off burning rubber towards the stove. William fell off the fender backwards, hanging on to the throttle. Dad finally got one foot out and under him and stomped the brake and sent William back out over the front. And he shut the throttle off on the way by. There was a solid strip of rubber in the shop from where they took off to where they slid to a stop just before they hit the stove. And I was requested to tell that one story.
Well, I mean, you was there for it. You know about it.
Long time ago, and I was just a kid then, so it's really a long time ago. I think it was the Fena, Missouri Dirt Track Championship at Bolivar. They had a big block in the car, and I think you sealed it all the way up, didn't you? Well, it blowed the valve cover gaskets out or whatever, so it's blowing oil out everywhere, and he's starting to lose oil pressure, and they have a yellow flag, so William grabs 3 or 4 quarts of oil and hops up on the back of the car on the way by and goes to pouring them in, and come around and they're waving the green flag, so he takes off and William sitting on the back of the car, and William stepped off. He was taking some pretty big steps. I don't think he ever hit the ground. His nose wasn't very far from it, but that was another one of the deals that happened.
Skip Mid-America Dirt, and I've got Mr. Ken Essary, Hall of Famer, the Flying Farmer. Mr. Essary, how you doing today?
Oh, I'm great. How are you?
Doing good. It looks like today was a win. How did it feel?
Oh man, this is something, wasn't it? I had no idea. They pulled one over on me today.
They sure did. They sure did. How does it make you feel to have all this family and friends here today? It's got to feel really good.
Oh, it does. You know, people that's helped us through our career, and to have your family here, and we've got such a large family of on my dad's side and mother's side both, and all of them were here, and friends from the races and all, and you know, from help on the race cars to Larry Shaw, you know, and all the interviews from everybody that they picked up that you helped with, and it was just unbelievable. I can't thank them enough.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. It was super nice. Now, how many of these have you done in your career?
How many what?
Interviews.
Oh, my. I have no idea.
Probably several, huh?
Yeah, several.
Probably several. Now, are we going to see you in a race car anytime soon?
Just doubtful. It's doubtful.
I got you. Well, hey, I'm glad you had a super happy birthday. Happy birthday from me, and happy birthday from everybody on Mid-America Dirt.
Well, thank you, and thank you for coming and helping Karen and all the family get this set up, because it was really a surprise.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And from all of us fans everywhere, thank you for what you did, and happy birthday.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Thank you.